Hello everyone, this is Chaff Commander Coffee, back with my very first episode. Well, it's funny that I say back, because we are back with 0AD, but this is my very first episode where I'm doing a commentary on one of the multiplayer games that I played just a couple of days ago, actually, in the first live stream that I did on Twitch for 0AD. Now, I realised, I went into playing the multiplayer for 0AD again, completely without any practice. And I'm pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, I know exactly what I was doing wrong, it's just I need to practice quite a few more games just to get myself back up to scratch. So, for those of you that are ready to bombard the comments with tips on what I could be doing better, I may already know what I could be doing better. However, if you have any tips in regards to the strategy that I'm going to show off, maybe you've tried it yourself, or maybe you've seen someone else pull it off a lot better, then do post, because I would like to try to really put some depth into this particular strategy that I managed to play. Now, in my overview series, I said that I had a secret strategy that I was planning with Persia. And in the very first game that I played in the lobby for 0AD, it was a 2v2. And I got randomed as Persia. And I hadn't really thought about the intricacies regarding my build order and how to actually go about playing this strategy. But I did manage to get it to work, albeit a lot slower than I expect you probably could pull it off if you were, actually practiced this and got a good time down for it. But I am going to show it off anyway, because I feel it will help a lot of you guys maybe try something new out. And I found it was really fun. It was a really great game to pull this off on. It was a lot of fun for me. So I hope you guys will enjoy what happened as well. So it was this game right here. I played a total of 5 games in my live stream, as you can see. Some of them went pretty good, others not so well. But overall, I played 2 Nomad games. Unfortunately, I lost both of them, which feels bad, man. But I will say it was probably because the teams were a little unbalanced. Maybe just a little bit. Obviously, I myself cannot excuse myself because I am still playing very badly compared to my old form. But there you have it. I played a Danubius game, which I didn't actually know what Danubius was like. So yeah, the barbarians came as a bit of a surprise, but still, it was still a pretty good game, just to find out what Danubius was like as a game mode. But again, the teams were a little unbalanced, so we ended up tapping out because yeah, it came to a point where it was a water map, a team island map. Now, with water maps, it's fine if every player is on their own separate island, but when it's a team island, for example, one team is on this western side, one team is on the eastern side, it becomes a case of, unless you have a very well-coordinated naval invasion, you won't be able to knock a player out of the game. And our team just was not able to coordinate a naval invasion at all. Whereas the opposing team did manage to kind of do it. I wouldn't say either team really pulled off a very good coordinated invasion, but the opposing team did manage to do a better one, but that's simply because they actually built champions. I built plenty of champion units, but neither of my teammates did. Or they built the wrong ones. So at the end of the day, it did feel a little unbalanced. I also played a 1v1 rated game. I wasn't sure whether to actually make this one rated because my opponent's rating, as you can see there, was a lot lower than mine. But again, I haven't played in months, so I wasn't sure how good rating was as an indicator of your skill. I still believe that very strongly. I have met players who are lower than 1200 rating, and they play a lot better than some players that I've seen at 1400 or higher. So I still believe that rating is not a great measure of skill, because you can boost your rating by playing people who are a lot worse than you multiple times in a row. And I was not sure how good this player was. And for someone who's at 958 rating, Temic5, if you end up watching this video, or any of my videos for that, but this one in particular, you actually played really well. For someone who's at 958 rating, I felt you were a lot better than that. So I feel like you may have had a fair amount of unluck in getting placed against people who are a lot better than you. I, for one, didn't play very well. Again, I'm still very, very rusty. My build order is all over the place. I picked up some bad habits again, like watching battles for far too long rather than keeping my economy rolling. And, you know, just general newbie mistakes that I really shouldn't be doing because I know better than that. But again, bad habits, I need to practice and get them back out of my system so I can play at a higher level once again. But the game I will be looking at is the very first one that I played. It was a random map, and we got put on Mediterranean, which can be a bit imbalanced at times. I believe I was down in Egypt here at the start of the game, and my ally was in Iberia or North Africa, and our two enemies were in the sort of Slavic Russian steppes in the north here, and in central Germania. But it was a really good game, and I get to show off my strategy with the Persians. My ally was playing Seleucids, and our two enemies were the Romans and the Spartans. Now, I believe all the players, aside from myself, did pick their teams. So when someone locked in Sparta, I was expecting Skiritai. Again, I'm coming in this from having played Alpha 21, so I'm more used to the strategies that are common to Alpha 21 than Alpha 22. And then, obviously, Romans, I was expecting Lancer Cavalry rushing. And my ally playing Seleucids, well, as far as Seleucids go, I mean, I guess I was expecting a fast expand, but with the Seleucids, it really does depend on your preference of play, because they can boom, they can turtle, they can expand, they can play aggressively as well. They do get access to Dahe horse archers, I think they do, so you can play aggressively with the Seleucids as well. They're very variable. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's go into the replay. Now, I won't be talking about everything to do with the replay because, as I said, I'm really rusty going into this. Is the first multiplayer game that I played of Zero AD. I hadn't played any AI games as a practice aside from my demonstration game, and that really wasn't a great example. So here I am in the bottom right. And my ally is over here somewhere. Here we are. Okay, so they're sort of in the Carthaginian Tunisia region. We have cycling over here as the Spartans in Germania. And then we have Bibu in the top right corner in Russia. Now, I don't know where my opponents are. Obviously, this is Fog of War. I will be playing this from my perspective, so I can really show off this strategy. I did remember to start off by building 5 women, which is a good start, I guess, as far as build orders go. I believe I go 10 women onto wood as my first build. I get a house up as well, obviously, because housing will obviously run short fairly quickly. As you can see, I'm really slow. I am very slow during this game. I'm not used to playing RTSs again. So yeah, just bear in mind that this is not exemplary play. But it is good enough to show off the strategy. And effectively, the early game is me attempting to boom up my economy so I can get to phase 3. This strategy relies on you getting to phase 3 as quickly as you can. This game is a 200 population game. It's a 2v2. I generally prefer to play 2v2s with 200 population. Again, I keep in mind that if the population limit goes over 1,000, the game is generally going to start lagging fairly badly. At least from my personal experience from Alpha 21. If it's been a lot better optimized since Alpha 21, then fair enough. You may see more games in the future where I actively put the population cap up a bit further. As well, for those of you guys watching this on YouTube, since this is recording, so you will be watching this on YouTube. Some people in the stream said they were having difficulties viewing the videos because the quality, I can't set transcoding because I don't have enough viewers yet. I don't have a partnership with Twitch, so people can only watch my videos in source, and I had it set to stream at 1080p. And some people were complaining that their systems or their internet wasn't quite good enough to handle that. So what I've done is I've reduced my settings down to 720p. So for those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you guys don't mind me having reduced the graphical output of the videos. I really hope you don't mind that. But it is for, as I said, quality of life for my other viewers on Twitch. 720p should be perfectly fine to play 0AD by anyway. It is a very pretty looking game as far as RTSs go. I really do like it in terms of graphically. And I think 720p should be fine to show off how nice the graphics are. Now that's all the nitty-gritty stuff out of the way. What I'm doing now, which probably is a bit different to what I would normally do with this strategy, is because in the Mediterranean map I spawned in Egypt, I have a very high hunt. I've got these camels over here. I've scouted a huge load of camels over there, which I don't think I go into. I should have built a docks earlier to start doing some fishing, but instead I just get more and more cavalry. I think eventually I get about 10 or so cavalry hunting over here and over here, just to supplement my food stocks in the early game. You'll see I think I have 8 women here gathering berries. I build another farmstead over here to get the berries over here, since I did bother to get the berry picking upgrade, so I thought I might as well. If I was really playing efficiently, by the time I hit phase 2, I probably would have built another farmstead over here. Looking back on this game, I really should have built a barracks sooner, or a stables. If I had have built a stables, the Persian stables costing stone, as you can see there, I could have spent some of my stone to build the stables to get cavalry building faster, rather than using my town centre to train cavalry. But never mind. I've got the woodcutting upgrade, I believe. Yep, should have the woodcutting upgrade. Stronger axe. Yeah. So I've got the first woodcutting upgrade. I haven't got the first farming upgrade. You won't see me go into farming very early on because of all this hunt and the extra berries. So I haven't bothered to get farming rolling very soon, which I don't think is a mistake. Farming is more wood intensive. So if you want to really get your economy rolling and aging up faster, then hunt is a better way to go, as well as picking those important berries and getting fishing. If I really was playing efficiently, I probably would have got fishing up a lot sooner as well. Now, as far as this goes, my age up time is going to be pretty slow, because I immediately start getting workers onto stone and metal pretty early on. Like, this is generally, you wouldn't even bother considering mining stone or metal this early on in the game unless you were going for something like slingers. I do get a cavalry stables. I do plan on getting a cavalry stables because of all this extra hunt. As you can see, there's absolutely loads of it. And I think by the end of the game, I managed to hunt out all of these animals. So there's a lot of food around here. Each of these camels and the gazelle, they're all worth 100 or 200 food. So there really is a lot of food lying around here for my cavalry to go and gather. I think I may even build another farmstead either here or over here to speed this up. I can't remember. I think I didn't, which is a mistake again on my part. You see the click up there, clicking up to age 2. I'll hit age 2 in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, roughly. Yeah, roughly. Which is not too bad. I had a bunch of idle women here for a while, which is, again, pretty bad of me. Just just accept that my micro is not going to be as great as it should be. I need to play some more practice games to really get that bolted down again. And yeah, should have had a barracks up to start training units whilst I was aging. That's another mistake of mine. But there you go. Still, my main goal is to get, by phase 3, a large amount of stone. Well, not so much stone. I need enough stone to age up. And I need enough stone to build one building in particular. So I need a blacksmith to get upgrades, which only cost wood. And I will also need a Persian palace to get a resource trickle, really handy if the game's going to go on for a long time. I need my hero. There's one hero in particular that I have to get for this strategy to work. And it allows me to get some pretty important upgrades in terms of training time. I need the Immortals training time upgrade. That's going to be pretty important for what I'm trying to do. You may already be able to guess what that is. You might already be able to guess. But I will leave that as a surprise for when it actually kicks into full power. And it does pretty quickly. So I got my cavalry stables up, finally finished. I'm getting a temple and a market. I do want to get cartography. On second thoughts, I probably should have built my market over here, just to increase my trade value with my ally over here, the Seleucids. But never mind. Probably should get this wood upgrade a bit sooner. Farming, again, is not something that I really need to worry about at this stage of the game. I still have plenty of food spare, and I've still got a decent amount of wood coming in. I'm going to need, I think, I'm building the temple, which cost me a bit of stone. The marketplace is just wood again. So really, I need to gather about, I need 300 for the Apadana Palace and another 750 to age up. So I need another about 900 stone from this point. As far as metal goes, I'm really gathering as much as I can. I really do need to gather as much metal as possible. And there's a very good reason for this. And as I said, you will see. In particular, we need it for upgrades. We need a lot of infantry upgrades. Particularly infantry damage, melee damage, and armor. Both those things are going to be very important. So I got another barracks up here, and I begin by getting the Leve infantry upgrade, which will help me train units from my town centre and my barracks a lot faster, my infantry units here. I believe I'm going to get another storehouse and another barracks up on this side pretty soon. Building some more houses just to make sure I don't get pop-capped. This barracks is going to be training men not only for cutting wood, but also for mining metal. You should see in a little bit that I start pulling women off of this wood line here. I've got 15 women there, and I've got 10, I think it's 10 over here. Yeah, I think I grab the 10 women from this wood line and get them to build a couple of farms. I will eventually get these 15 women to build farms as well, when that's necessary. As you can see, I was the first person in the game to age up to phase 2. Which is pretty nice. I wasn't honestly expecting that. I thought my timing was very slow, but I guess my allies and my enemies were a little bit slower past that. But they may have had a more developed economy before I hit before they went to age 2. I may have also been lucky in regards to getting quite a lot of hunt. This is a particularly quick way to get food early on in the game, and then of course my only way to the only thing stopping me from aging up is my wood income. Now, I haven't even got the first farming upgrade yet, but I am starting to go on to farms, so you should see me click that up pretty soon. We just got the mining upgrade for metal, which we're definitely going to need, because we need a lot of metal. We do have enough to age up, but as I said, we need it for upgrades as well. I'm getting another barracks over here, as well as the blacksmith, and then I'll build a barracks next to that over here as well. So as you can see, at this stage of the game, we're looking at, so we're 10 minutes in. By 10 minutes in, you should have 300 population. So as you can see, I'm doing awfully. Although I did get, no, it's really no excuse. I'm doing pretty badly in terms of actually building my economy up at a reasonable pace. Some of you are probably watching this video like, how do you get 300 population by 10 minutes? That's insane. That's actually crazy. Well, it's not actually that improbable. It basically... So, to compare this to an Age of Empires game, because obviously I will draw quite a few comparisons between this and Age of Empires. In Age of Empires, to really boom your economy up, you need to get more villagers. Villagers can only be trained at a town centre. So, to build your economy up, you need to get more town centres. To do that, you have to hit Age 3. Now, in 0 AD, this is quite the opposite. To build, since citizen soldiers are the core of your economy, at least your wood and your mining economy, you need barracks to train them, and barracks are available in Phase 1. So, really, if you want to boom your economy, it's about how many barracks you can build. And to get 300 pop by 10 minutes is basically a case of just building more and more barracks and just spitting out more and more units as quickly as you can. And the thing is, the more units you build, I think that's just my scout being attacked by some random wolves in Scandinavia. But yeah, if you really want to build your economy up, the more barracks you build, the more units you can train. The more units you can train, the more economy you have. Yeah, it's really as simple as that. So as you can see at this stage of the game, really trying to intensify my stone mining and my metal mining. I've got about 10 workers on each, a few more on metal, but we really do need to stockpile that. The barracks has been complete, and I have got my first infantry damage upgrade. I'm going to want to get the infantry armor upgrade as soon as I'm able. These 15 women have come off of wood here and have gone on to farms. I am running a bit low on food, which I think I may even trade some of my wood for food in a short while. I can't remember if I do that, but I'm pretty sure that I do. So my population is growing pretty swiftly now. I'm getting some defense towers up to help me get to Age 3. I can do that right now. I did try and build 10 more women to get farming going, but I don't have enough houses, and I think I realised that pretty shortly. Even though I can't get the women training, I should still be able to get the barracks training units, but as you can see, nearly all the barracks are idle. Yeah, that's my bad. And I barter some wood for food, so I can get some more units being built. But again, it doesn't matter that I'm trying to build units because I can't house them. At this point, it probably would have been a good idea to get home garden upgrade just to like quickly increase my pop cap. Not efficiently, but quickly. However, that's not really a great idea because I need that stone to age up ASAP. And I did also make a bit more of a mistake, because after I built the Apadana Palace and aged up, I should have taken all my workers off of stone, because I don't need any more of it. I don't need fortresses in this strategy, no. This strategy, right now, I would classify it as a timed push. And if you get the timing correct, it can be pretty potent, I imagine. But your timing is effectively, the sort of criteria to get this going is, you need to hit Age 3, you need to build an Apadana Palace, which is about, if you build a cavalry stables, it's about 1,300 stone in terms of cost. As far as metal goes, you need to get both infantry armor upgrades and both infantry weapon upgrades before your units hit your opponent's base. That's the main thing. In terms of upgrades, you need those two upgrades. Any other upgrades you get on top of that, for example, ranged infantry damage, is just icing on the cake. What you also need to do is, after getting the Apadana Palace built, I should have enough stone to build the Apadana Palace straight after aging up. So as you can see, I have enough stone to do that now, but I don't take my stone miners off to do that anytime soon. So yeah, really this video does help me go over the things that I could do to make this more efficient, which is certainly a good idea. As you can see, I did actually get the farmstead up here eventually. I should have got one over here as well, just to get this hunt down here. Really utilise that cavalry all game long. Should have got another farmstead over here. What I should, like, really looking back at my position in this map, I should have had my 8 berry pickers just move around the map, building farmsteads for themselves and for the hunting cavalry, because I could have avoided going into farms for absolutely ages. Or maybe not avoided, but I could have definitely, I wouldn't have had to intensify my farming for quite some time, which is pretty useful for saving on wood resources, which is pretty handy. As you can see right now, I've got the Apadana Palace on build. I'm really trying to get to my maximum population limit as soon as I can now, but I'm still saving some of my population limit. Now, I'm not exactly sure on the numbers of population that you should be saving, and there's a reason you need to save some of your pop cap. If I had to guess, because Persia gets 10% of their pop cap spare, I would say save 10% of your pop cap as a basic number. So that 10% bonus pop cap you get as Persia, you should save for these units that we're going to train. And you should probably guess what they are by now. Apadana's Palace goes up, and we start to build Cyrus. So we're going to get Cyrus at 18 minutes. And we're going to have all of our infantry upgrades. We're going to pop the infantry armor upgrade as soon as that melee one is done. We're then going to get the Anisia Immortals upgrade. Yeah, we're going to get Immortals. But we're going to get Immortals in probably the most fun way that you can get Immortals. And I really like this strategy. I imagine if you refined it and you actually practice this, it could be really, really powerful in an online game. I am not joking. I reckon this could be game changing. Although I don't know the meta. It might be that people already do this all the time, and I just don't know the meta of Alpha 22. But yeah, this is a strategy I want to practice a lot more. So I moved Cyrus. I was going to build 10 Immortals at Cyrus, batch train those many Immortals, but I have to wait for the Immortals upgrade. So I really, looking back at this, you should get the Immortals upgrade at the Apadana Palace and then build Cyrus. That's probably a better idea. So we got the infantry armor upgrade, which is good. Now, yeah, okay, so I do bother to just train them, train the Immortals off the bat. I don't even wait for the Immortals upgrade. I want to see if it's retroactive, actually. I can't remember if it is. Because if it's not retroactive, then I buggered that one up, basically. Yeah, I really buggered that one up. You should definitely get the Immortals upgrade before building Cyrus. But as you can see, Cyrus is moving up the right side of the map, whilst my economy is just doing its own thing and mostly stockpiling resources. But yeah, so Cyrus is over here. It's not retroactive, so yeah, that is a good tip for me to take into my next games in the future, is that you definitely need to get the Immortals upgrade and then start training Cyrus. And the reason being is you want those Immortals to hit as quickly as you can. As you can see here, Cyrus has got 2 minutes. Cyrus is a time bomb. Basically, this is what I call the Cyrus Deepstrike. Yeah, after the Space Marines from Warhammer 40k. Particularly, I would rename Cyrus into Creed, because then we can deep strike our Immortals straight into our opponent's back line. And that is the plan. Effectively, the criteria is you want to hit Phase 3, get the Apadana Palace and Cyrus as quickly as possible. I also do make another mistake here of scouting with Cyrus and then not putting him on stand ground. And because he's not on stand ground, he aggroes the Romans over here and starts fighting them. Which he has no problem killing them, don't get me wrong, but he has now revealed himself. And that means he's about to get chased around a la Benny Hill for the next minute. Which is no problem. He does almost get killed by Javelineers, but that's not really an issue. Because it doesn't matter, as long as he survives, the strategy is all good. It is working as intended. As we can see, there's I don't know why Cycling had a few units hanging around in Bibu's base, but he does. Bibu's got a decent number of Triarius just lying around. I notice he's got a bunch of women cutting wood over here, so I get Cyrus to come in and start dealing some damage. Part of what I'm doing here is trying to force my opponent to overcommit, especially the wrong kind of units. And that's exactly what he does. As you can see, we've got Velite coming in now. And the Velets are going to do a fair amount of damage to Cyrus. Not too much though, he is a hero after all. As I see the huge number of Velets, I start skirmishing Cyrus around the back of their base. I've hit pop cap. I think you should see very soon, after the Immortals hit, you will see me starting to move up my entire population. And that's another part of this strategy you really need to get correct, and that is, as you, you see I've got a ton more Immortals on the recruit. After you hit pop cap, you need all of your men to really move up towards your opponent's base, to really maximize the damage you do at one point. So what happens is Cyrus, just running around, 20 Immortals appear out of nowhere and just start butchering all of Bibu's defenders. We can see here his Velite are getting absolutely torn apart by the Immortals. It's just, I've already killed equal numbers with just the Immortals, and as soon as he realizes that his Velets are no longer fighting Cyrus, Cyrus has ran off over here to just hide for a bit. But he is going to come back in. The Immortals are really just cleaning house now. He's only got citizen soldiers. He is not prepared for this in the slightest. And the Immortals are fully upgraded. Like, these guys have got 10 hack armor, 10 pierce armor, with 8.6 hack damage and 7.2 pierce damage. They are, yeah, like, they will tear apart units, easy peasy. Cyrus comes in here just to kill a few Javelineers, just to improve our attack, and also continue to train Immortals in our opponent's back line. The Immortals do take a few casualties, but we pretty much, as you can see, Bibu's pop count, he's down to 50. And most of them are going to be women and fishing boats over here. He's got a few galleys. I guess he's never played on this particular map, the Mediterranean map, so yeah. Cassandra did decide to expand towards our opponent, building a forward expansion here. Very good idea as the Seleucids. Gradually just eating up more resources on the map. Pretty damn good play by Cassandra. You can see a crap load barracks and units just pouring into the northern front here. I think I send a message to Cassandra fairly shortly after popping my Immortals that they should attack Cycling as soon as they can, just so that he can't come to reinforce Bibu, whilst my Immortals just ruin his day. Yeah, the Perioikoi hoplites, they just don't stand a chance. The champions are just making short work of all his citizen units, and they can just take javelins all day, like they don't care, and they kill cavalry so quickly because of the 3x damage bonus that they get. They probably do over 30 points of damage per hit. I am starting to run low on Immortals though, but as you can see, I've got my cavalry as a forward force just to find out what this southern defense is looking like. My army, I do try and form them up. I thought it'd be cool to try out the formations, see what I can do with the formations, but nothing spectacular by the end of it. Now I do realise that Cycling has brought in a lot more units and has managed to finish off my Immortals. That's fine, I captured both of Bibu's barrackses, deliberately going for the barrackses, and there you go. The barrackses have been destroyed. Bibu has no way of training units now. He only has his town centre, which he's desperately training Velite from, but it's not going to be enough. Cyrus is still just messing up what little economy he has left with these women. He should have really garrisoned these ages ago, for sure. After seeing Cyrus come in the first time, and then the Immortals, he should have got these garrisoned, but I guess he really didn't know what to do. He's starting to desperately try to rebuild those barracks where they went down, but they're going to be down for so long that it really is just too late. I mean, Cyrus can train Immortals every, I think it's every, not 30 seconds, it's every Oh, I'll have to actually select Cyrus, so I can see that. It's not counting my upgrades as well. Yeah, I train an immortal every 12 seconds. So even this small band of immortals that I have here is enough to leave behind and just capture some houses and just ruin his population cap further. I have my army moving in, as you can see. Cassandra has been sieging Cycling's border. Cycling's been cut between trying to help his ally Bevo defend his base from the immortals and also fight off Cassandra's invasion from the west. He doesn't have any hack units. Skiratai would have been particularly useful in this situation for actually killing this catapult. They would have done it really quickly. The catapult only has 1 hack armor. So if he had have built some Skiratai, he probably could have got rid of this catapult in time. So it's always a good idea to have some Skiratai just lying around for that purpose, if nothing else. My immortals do start getting killed off by the Velite. I might get this last house if I realise that I've captured it. No, it looks like I didn't. Which isn't a problem. Cyrus is just here building up his immortals again, whilst my main army moves in to invade Cycling from another front, thereby probably winning us the game. I've popped all of my other upgrades I need to boost my infantry up. So this is a very infantry-heavy Persia game. You might be expecting more cavalry-heavy strategies with Persia, but I think with the Immortals, if I was to refine it further, I think cavalry would be a really good idea to bring with Cyrus originally, because he gives that AoE boost to cavalry attack. So yeah, I think if I was to do this again, I would like to go, rather than building farms, just go into corrals and get a lot of probably Cappadocian cavalry, but maybe some Median, maybe a bit of both. If I'm finding I'm running low on food and have more wood, I would get the Cappadocians. If I had more food and less wood, I would go for the Medians. And just really bring like a good 20 or 30 cavalry with Cyrus, and then send them into my opponent's base, pop the Immortals right in the middle of their base when my opponent's overcommitted. My army's moving in. Cassandra is just building up more and more units on the western border, building those military colonies just to push Cycling further back. My archers and my Sparabaras and my Javelineers, my sort of combined arms force that I have here of my Persian infantry, make short work of the Spartans. I may have just out-upgraded him, I'm not sure. We'll take a look at Cycling's upgrades. Yeah, Cycling isn't even in, he's only just clicked up to Phase 3, whereas I already have all of the Phase 3 upgrades for my units. So yeah, really just far too little, far too late. This is pretty much GG at this point. Cycling is down to 51 people. Bibu has managed to rebuild his barracks, but he's built some towers as a sort of last-ditch attempt to defend his base, but it's too little too late. The mixed assault from me and Cassandra is just far too much for them to handle. I'm still floating around 200 population. Cassandra's still floating around 220. Oh, they built a monument. BM. Okay, I probably should have banned monuments during this game. Not that it matters. I think at this point in the game, it actually doesn't matter. Like, we'd already won long before Cassandra got that monument finished. So it doesn't really matter. But there we go. I think Cassandra even builds or captures this town centre, or builds another military colony just to capture all this land. But Cycling has resigned. The Persians move in for the final blow on Rome in the back here. Cyrus starts moving in with his group of 25 Immortals. He's got another 10 on the build. So as a general rule of thumb, it only takes 1 minute to train 10 Persian Immortals. When you are just... So if you want to do like a really, really quick timing, then it would be about getting Cyrus out with 10 Immortals. You'd have to do the maths on... I think that's 1,000 wood, 750 metal, and 1,250 food. Plus all the other resources you would need to get Apadana Palace and the Town Centre level 3. But if you did it correctly, I can imagine it being incredibly strong. You can hit exposed parts of your opponent's base, if your opponent is already occupied by your main army, then the Immortals are free to absolutely just wreak havoc and just... And because they are champions, they have over 2 times the capture rate of standard units, which means the Immortals are absolutely perfect for just sneakily capturing... yeah, Bibu sending in his men to try stop my Immortals capturing the town centre, but it's too late. He should really garrison his men inside the town centre, but I don't think it would have made much of a difference anyway. The Immortals just completely ignoring his units. They've got way too much armour, and there goes the town centre, and I believe it is quickly deleted. So it's GG. That was the first game I got to try out. The Cyrus Deepstrike strategy that I've been culminating for a while. Oh, please excuse me. But yeah, I had great fun during this game. Looking back on it, teams are probably a little unbalanced, but I didn't know how good Cassandra was. Again, they have no rating for me to go by, but there you go. Rating doesn't mean everything, as I said earlier. Cycling had equal rating to me, but I haven't played in months and I still massively outproduced him. I got to phase 3 faster, got all my upgrades faster, got to population cap faster, and I wasn't playing efficiently. I tell you right now, if you thought that I played quite well this game, I didn't. This is nowhere near high level play, so far as I'm concerned. I will probably end up doing a video about, and there's BB resigning, so that's the end of the replay. And we'll just go over the score charts. You can pause the video to read them if you want, but I'll just go over them whilst I'm talking. Yeah, if you guys are interested in watching me show you how to get to as high a population as you can, I'll show you rather, if you're interested. Please leave a comment, and then whoever leaves the first comment, which says something like, can you show us how you practice 0 AD chaff, or something like that. Just like the comment or drop your own on some similar line of thought, and I will do a video where I basically show off how I practiced 0 AD, because there is a specific way that I practice 0 AD. It doesn't take very long. It's 10 minutes. Literally 10 minutes. But yeah, it's basically how I practice 0 AD before I ever played multiplayer. When I first got the game, it is free after all, so when I first downloaded the game and played it, I played against the AI. I played all the way up until I could defeat the very hard AI, which took about, it was only about 5 or 6 games, but I'd already played Age of Empires and Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds and Age of Mythology and all that kind of stuff. So I'd already played RTSs similar, so it didn't take me very long to get used to the different mechanics and then beat the hardest AI. And it really wasn't too challenging. It's gotten a lot better in this alpha, but still. And after I'd done that, I went on the internet and was like, I would like to find out, like, I went into the multiplayer lobby and I looked at the leaderboards to see who the highest rated player was, and it was Borg, and I was like, okay, maybe I can find some videos where I can watch Borg playing, so I can get an idea of, like, if this is the best person at playing the game currently, I would like to see what he does, so I can then maybe try and emulate that, or maybe take what he does as a guideline and then work my way around it so I can find my own strategies using his as a base, and then really see how that goes. But what I found instead was that there was a pretty quirky video. I will leave the link to it in this description for this video so you guys can take a look, because I think it is important. It is probably one of the best videos, I would say, if you wanted to learn to play 0 AD at a high level, because at the end of the day it covers very similar or very simple basics, not on how to play 0 AD, but how to be efficient. RTSs are all about how many actions you can perform per minute, how fast you can play the game at the end of the day. It is about speed. If you see people play StarCraft at high levels and stuff, you know how quickly they move around the map and like select different groups of units and micro their workers. It's insane how quickly they play that game. But that is the core of an RTS. If a game only lasts 30 minutes on average, how many units can you train in 30 minutes? How many resources can you gather in 30 minutes? That's really what you need to be thinking about. And if you can only gather 3,000 metal in 30 minutes, whereas your opponent can gather 6,000 metal in 30 minutes, then your opponent can get 3,000 metal more upgrades and units, like champions, than you. And that means you're going to lose. Like, there is no argument there. Like, if your opponent can just get more resources than you, and get more units than you, and better units than you, because they play faster, then you are going to lose. That's just how it is. And for those of you that are thinking to yourselves, well, I'm not very quick. I'm never going to be able to get 300 population by 10 minutes, or I'm never going to be able to get the same kind of speed that Borg has, or that any of the other top level players, the top 10 players in 0AD are, like I think FFM and I think Imperial might be up there as well, I can't remember. But yeah, so if you're thinking I can't be like the top 10 players, I'm genuinely not fast enough. Firstly, I'll say it does come with practice. The more you practice, the faster you'll get. It just becomes a bit more natural. And when you have a build order that you're kind of familiar with, you'll find it becomes a lot quicker in your decision making and such. But I will also say, even if you know and you've tried many times and you cannot be that quick, you can still play 0AD at quite a high level. Really, what it requires you to do is, if you know you can't get your population up that quickly, and you know you can't gather as many resources as quickly, what you need to do is make the game last longer. Because then you will be able to gather more resources, get your population up. You need to play the long game. And to do that, my best hint or recommendation for players that are not really that fast is play defensively. That is your strength. If you know you can't build up enough units to go on the offense, focus on your defense. If you're playing a team game and you're like, oh, all of my allies are aging up faster than me and they've got twice as many population as I have, what you need to think to yourself is, okay, maybe I'm not at the same level as my allies or my enemies. But that's not a bad thing. You're still part of the team and you can still help. The way you can help is in just as important ways, but different ways. Maybe you can't offer to send 200 units on the attack and really try and knock an opponent out of the game. Maybe you can't do that because you don't have the soldiers. But what you can do is you can go into your allies' bases and build towers. You could build walls. You can build markets further away. You could build a town center further away along the map. You could take some more land for your allies. You can build a marketplace there. You can start trading resources. If you find your economy is very strong because you're not committing units to the attack, send it to your allies who are committing units to an attack, because that way they can replenish their numbers faster, and that will make a real big difference. And it really will, honestly. When I've played team games in Alpha 21 and I'm midway through an assault and I'm like, I've lost about half my men, I can just about finish this opponent off, but I can't go further than that. I haven't got any power left. I've lost all my firepower. And then one of my allies goes, here you go, chaff, have 2,000 of every resource. Like, I can work with that. I can build a new town center, I can get barracks on the front line, I can get a fortress up, I can start replenishing my numbers, and then I can be ready to attack again within a few minutes, rather than having to go back to my main base, retrain those units from scratch. I don't have the economy, so I have to build the resources up first. It makes a massive difference. So it comes with identifying what kind of player you are. And I will try and include that in the video that I do. If you guys want it, obviously. Like I said, drop a comment, drop some likes if you want that kind of... I don't want to ask for likes and comments, but unless you tell me what you want, I'm just going to do more commentaries of multiplayer games. So if you guys particularly want to see a build order, like a standard build order to work with, I will try and do another video in the same lieu as the 10-minute 300 PopCap video, which I will post a link to, as I said. Anyway, that was the replay, and I hope you guys liked seeing, I know I did go a bit off track at the end there, but I hope you guys liked seeing the Cyrus Deepstrike strategy that I came up with. It's not... I mean, you guys have probably already seen someone else do this before in an online game. Maybe you haven't. But for those of you that are interested and want to see this performed at a higher level, I will tell you for a fact I will probably do a particular strategy video on how to do it and how fast you could do it. I will practice my socks off. To get better at the game, because I've really picked up some bad habits, as I said, and I've gotten a lot slower, and I need to sort that out, because I used to be a lot quicker. And once I've done that, I will try and do a video about the absolute fastest time that you could pull off a Cyrus Deepstrike, and with how many men. I'll probably do it based on a 1v1 situation, so in a rated 1v1 game with 250 PopCap. That means the Persians get 275 PopCap, and I would say you really want to be deep striking at least 25, but maybe even up to 50. I'd say 35 to 50 immortals as a conservative estimate of how many you need to make a significant impact on your opponent's economy. And keep in mind, you also want to be deep striking the immortals with your main army already ready to assault them. Like, as soon as you have the resources to train those immortals, you should take all of your men off of your economy and just send them to your opponent. That's what I mean by calling it a timed push. If you get the timing correct, it will be absolutely unstoppable. Like, you will hit your opponent with such force that hopefully you can force them to tap out in that one attack. But if you get the timing wrong and your opponent can hold you off, then you just committed everything. So it is a bit all in. I wouldn't say it's like completely all in, because you could, if the immortals get killed a bit too quickly and you realize that you're probably losing the fight, you can pull your citizen soldiers back. And whilst your citizen soldiers and your immortals are being killed, you can always have your barracks back at your base retraining them as the fight is going on, so your economy doesn't completely crumble whilst you're away. And obviously your women farmers or your livestock gathering cavalry can always keep your food coming in, whether your men have gone to war or not. Anyway, that is my commentary for today. My very first commentary on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I also hope that you guys haven't been. There has been some people working outside, doing some construction or something. I hope you haven't picked up too many. I'll have to rewatch the video, and I hope you haven't picked up too many of the sounds from that. Hopefully my rambling sort of drowned it out. But yeah, it was good fun. I hope to see some people try it out in an online game, because I think it's a really fun strategy, and if you can pull it off, then it can be really rewarding as well. Anyway, it's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in my next multiplayer commentary for 0 AD. Goodbye.